Hey, fourth graders, welcome to another math lesson. This is metric unit of liquid measures, pages 251 to 252. You guys might notice that this time I have a black background instead of the usual white background. This is because also I'm hoping that this will make it easier for you to read what's on the screen, and also having a white background can be kind of hard on your eyes. So I'm hoping this will just make it easier for you to read. But if you guys prefer the white background, just make sure you just comment or email me, let me know. Yeah, so hopefully this works for you. Let's get started. So liquid units and measures. Before we've done measurements in using the metric system. You guys remember our two posters in the classroom? So first one, measuring in meters. You would use this to measure the length of an object. And weights and grams, obviously we would use this to measure the weight of an object. So in the metric system, we know that they use different measurements. They don't use feet or yards or pounds like we do. But a lot of other countries use the metric system to measure and to weigh things. So we know that in the metric system, we have a base unit, something that we base all of our measurements on. So in terms of length, the base unit is meter, a meter. And 1 meter is about 1 yardstick long, which is about 3 feet. And for weights in grams, we use 1 gram, which weighs about 1 paperclip. So based off of our base units, we can either measure things, we can either, multiply it times 10 times 100 times 1000 using the prefixes deca, hecto, kilo. Or we can, divide up our base unit using either the prefix deci, centi, or milli, right? And it all means 1/10. Deci is 1/10, centi is 1/100th, and millimeters, milli means 1/1000th of the base unit. So let me just go over that with a little bit more detail. For example, a decimeter is 1/10th of a meter. So deci means 1/10 of the base unit. So if I took my yardstick here, here's my yardstick, and if I broke it up into 10 equal pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I know it's not very equal, but yeah. So if I just took one of these pieces here and measure that one piece would equal 1 decimeter. Okay, if I broke up my yardstick into 10 equal pieces. Same thing for centimeter. So centi means 1/100th. So if I broke up this yardstick, which it's about 3 feet long, into 100 pieces, if I measure one of these pieces here, that would equal 1 centimeter. Okay, one piece out of 100, or 1/100th of a meter. So for deca, hecto, and kilo, it's the opposite. Instead of breaking a meter into chunks, we're actually multiplying it. For example, deca means times 10. So decameter means if I had took my yardstick, if I lined up 10 yardsticks end to end, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This length here of 10 yardsticks would equal 1 decameter. And a decameter, I told you guys, is about the length of a two-story building. And hectometer, same thing. If I took 100 yardsticks, right? 100 yardsticks, if I measure that end to end, that will equal 1 hectometer. And a kilometer is 1,000 meters, which is about 1,000 yardsticks. Okay. So same thing also for weights. Grams, the base unit is 1 gram, is a gram, and I told you guys 1 gram weighs about 1 paperclip. So if you can imagine 1 paperclip, how it feels in your hand, how much that weighs is 1 gram. So a decigram is, if I broke this up into 10 pieces, all right, this is about 10, I'm not sure. If I took one of those 1/10 of those pieces, if I weighed it in my hand, okay, that weight that I'm feeling in my hand is equal to 1 decigram. Same thing for centigram. So this time I'm breaking up my paperclip into 100 pieces. Okay, so now I'm measuring. Now I'm filling an even smaller piece in my hand. So whatever that measurement feels like, that's 1/100th of a gram. Decagram, same things. The 10 deca means times 10, so 10 paper clips. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if I weigh these 10 paper clips, that will equal to 1 decagram, and so on and so on. So meters, measuring meters measures the length of an object. Measuring objects in grams measures the weight of an object. So today we're going to learn about measuring the volume of an object using the metric system. Volume means how much space an object takes up. Okay, we also use this to measure liquids too, how much liquid there is. All right, so the base unit, just like the base unit for measuring in length and weight, is meters and grams. The base unit for measuring liquids or volume is the liter. So you might be asking yourself, how much is 1 liter? Well, 1 liter is equivalent to 2 water bottles. Those water bottles you guys bring into our classroom? So the amount of liquid of 2 of those bottles equals to 1 liter. You can also think of it as, you guys know those soda bottles we would use for like on Pizza Fridays when they serve soda? Those bottles are actually 2 liters. So half of that, the liquid, and half of that 2-liter bottle equals to 1 liter. So you can also think of it that way. All right, so let's look at the rest of the measurements. So here's the liters with the metric prefixes of kilo, hecto, deca, deci, centi, and milli. Okay. So let's take a look at. Okay, let's look at deciliter. So it's about 0.1 of a liter. All right. So before we would use fractions to show the deci, centi, milli, but instead of using fractions, we could also use decimals, right? So 0.1 is just another way for me to say, let's change colors here. Another way for me to say 1/10. All right, so 0.1 or 1/10 of a liter. That is about the equivalent of. So let's say you have this glass bottle. This is a typical glass bottle you would use at your house. So about 1/4 of that glass bottle. It's not glass bottle. Sorry, a glass cup is about a deciliter. So you can imagine if you're drinking a glass of water and you're about 1/4 of the way done, that 1/4 is equivalent to a deciliter. So what about a centiliter? 0.01, or you can also write it as 1/100th. Sorry, let me fix this real quick. So, or 1/100th of a liter. So what? So how much liquid do I have if I, took the 2 liters, the 1 liter, sorry. If I took these 2 water bottles and I filled them up into 100 cups, okay, imagine this is 100 cups. All right, and I filled them up equally into 100 cups. One of those cups would equal how much liquid? Well, that's a centiliter. And 1 centiliter is about the equivalent of, you guys know when your mom or your dad, when you're sick, they might give you some medicine on a spoon, on a tablespoon. So about, not exactly, but a little bit less than that. So maybe about this much is equivalent to 1 centiliter. And the next one, a milliliter, which we can also write it as 1/1000th, right? Because the 1 here is in the thousandths place. So 1/1000th of a liter. So if I took these 1 liter of liquid here, if I pour these 2 bottles into 1,000 cups, how much would one of those cups, how much liquid would one of those cups contain? And that would actually be about just one drop of water from this dropper. So one drop of water here from this dropper will equal to 1 milliliter. So very small. Okay, so let's go the opposite direction. Let's look at a deca, hecto, and kilo. So 10 liters. So if I had 10 liters, how much liquid would that be? So that would equal to equivalent of 20 water bottles, right? You can think of 20 water bottles, or you can think of it as, 5 of those 2-liter bottles. So 5 of those large soda bottles that we serve during Pizza Fridays, that equals about 1 deciliter. All right. About a hectoliter, so 100 liters. So if I had 100 liters, that's about, that trash can we have in the dining hall? This big trash can. So if we fill this up with water to the very top, that's the equivalent of 1 hectoliter, or 100 liters. So let's look at the very last one, a kiloliter, which is, sorry, 1,000 liters. You can imagine, the dumpster we have in the parking lot in our school, and we fill that dumpster up with water up to the very top. So that dumpster filled with water, the liquid inside that dumpster would equal to about 1 kiloliter, or 1,000 liters. Okay. All right. So hopefully that gives you just a good visual, or allows you just to imagine how much liquid is in each of these metric units of liquid. All right. So let's go over our worksheet here. So the first one is fill in the blanks with the metric prefixes. So here, let me minimize this. Try to fit these two into the same window here. Let me pull up the other one now. Okay, so first one, fill in the blanks with the metric prefixes. And it says, which one of these metric prefixes means 0.001? So all these words in yellow here, these are all the metric prefixes, right? Like what we just went over. So which one of these metric prefixes means 0.001? Well, you can see down here, milli. When we have milli before a base unit, that means 1/1000ths or 0.001. So right here, I would write milli. Next one, which metric prefix means 10, having times 10 of my base unit. If you look here, deca means 10, right? 10 liters. So deca means 10. So I think you guys can go ahead and just do the rest of that by yourselves. Circle the items which you think contains more than 1 liter. So more than one, circle it. And underline the items which you think contains less than 1. So underline the items that you think contains less than 1 liter. So remember, 1 liter is the equivalent of 2 water bottles. So a coffee cup. You think the liquid in a coffee cup will equal more than 1 liter or less than 1 liter? Is it more than the liquid that we have in 2 water bottles, or less than the liquid we have in 2 water bottles? Probably a lot less, right? So we would underline this because a coffee cup obviously has less liquid than 1 liter. Next one, a kitchen sink. If you filled up a kitchen sink with water, you think that water would be more than 1 liter or less than 1 liter? Would it be more than 2 water bottles or less than 2 water bottles? Probably a lot more than 2 water bottles, right? You can fill a lot of liquid. You can fill a lot of liquids in a kitchen sink. So next one is a picnic jug. You guys might not know what picnic jug is. You guys ever, when you go to a church picnic, you ever seen those big orange jugs that they have, where you can just push down this button here, and then some water will come out here. So that is a picnic jug. So the water that you can fill up inside that jug, is it more than 1 liter or less than 1 liter? What do you think? Is it more than 2 water bottles or less than 2 water bottles? Probably a lot more than 2 water bottles. So I would circle that. So you would do the rest here by yourselves. And this one, you would probably want to look at, the beginning of the video when I showed you the posters for the this poster here. You can either pause it here or just pause it in the beginning of the video. But these two posters would help you with the questions here, like how tall are you? 25 centimeters, 5 meters, or 14 decameters, or 4.1 feet. Use the poster for that. And I didn't go over this, but I should have this. I should have this in the video, but make sure you know the abbreviations for the liquid measurements. Okay. Um, and yeah, maybe I should probably write that down. So let's see here. Show videos. Yeah. So just remember that. Let's see. Let's write it over here. So kiloliter is KL, hectoliter is HL, deciliter is DAL, and liter is just L. And deciliter is DL, centiliter is CL, and a milliliter is ML. All right, so remember, make sure you always capitalize the L. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this lesson. I hope you guys understood that. If not, you guys can always ask me. All right, take care.